You have had your first child. You've made it through the first 3.5 years. But you're starting to wonder about school. Your child is still 1.5 years away from kindergarten. But you worry if your child will be prepared. You know that school is not what it used to be when you started years ago. You know that it's harder and that children are expected to know more than they did when you began school. What do? Do you try to teach your child everything you know at home? Or do you enroll them into a preschool where the professionals can take over? I've worked at the same preschool for 5 years. I started as a teacher and I still teach, but I also perform the duties of the assistant administrator. I've seen several children come and go, and I've seen them flourish under our care and through our education. I cannot explain the swell of pride that you feel for a child who for months has struggled to write their name. And one day it just clicks and they do it. I've seen this firsthand. She was so excited that she finally was able to write her name. I had tears in my eyes as I watched her because she showed all of her peers, her teachers, and her parents. Today I'm going to talk to you about how preschool is helpful before kindergarten. I will discuss how preschool provides your child with multiple resources, socialization, and a foundation for academic learning. Let's start with the resources preschool can provide. Anyone can go to the store and buy an educational workbook. A benefit of preschool is that they provide children with a vast array of different materials that not all parents can afford, and some of them don't even have room in their house for all of these supplies. Children are provided with a variety of sensory materials to explore the world through sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. They have so many books that likely the child won't be able to get through all of them in their preschool career. The books are on all kinds of subjects to appeal to a child's imagination as well as any interest they may have. Preschool can also provide parents with information. The reality of children is that some children learn faster than others, and that's okay. The benefit of a good preschool is that a teacher will recognize how your child learns, and they will customize activities for them. In my experience, the teacher that I work with and I make activities for the children with different levels of difficulty. That way, one child who may have been bored with our activities because they are too easy will still be challenged, while a child who may be having trouble grasping a subject will still get a boost of confidence and learn something. Preschools likely also know associations or can provide referrals to parents whose child may need some extra help with something outside of school, such as speech therapy. Preschool also helps children immensely with the socialization they will face in kindergarten. Parents can take their child to McDonald's to play with others. They can take them to church for Sunday school, or they can enroll them in a class or a sport. But unless a child is put into a school setting where they are interacting with a large group of children several days a week, it will not prepare them for what they're going to face in kindergarten. Children learn to take turns. They learn to share items with several people at once. They learn to walk in a line. They learn to listen, and they learn to be kind to others. The list could go on and on about what they learn. Although parents do teach their children some of these concepts at home as well, if a child is not put into the social setting like they are in preschool, the parent or that child will not know how they're going to react until kindergarten. We've had a couple of students come through who had a rough time in preschool, but we continuously worked with them day after day about how to interact correctly with their peers. We'll see them around town with their parents and they'll tell us how great they're doing, and the parents will just show so much appreciation and thanks for all the work that we did in teaching them these things. The last thing I would like to discuss with you is how preschool can provide the foundation for academic success in the future. Preschool provides children with repetitive activities that allow them to grasp the basis of learning. They may do an activity one day where they're separating jelly beans by color. Another day they may be counting the different colors of candy hearts that they have. These are repetitive activities in that they both are classification and counting. However, the child just knows I'm having fun today with this activity. Another big foundation for learning is play. Parents often wonder, is my child getting too much playtime during preschool? However, if a child does not play with other children, how will they learn to problem solve? Children face problems every day, several times a day. But a good teacher will encourage the child to determine what the best solution is and to follow through with it. These building blocks will provide a great foundation for your child's learning future. A study called the High Scope Perry Preschool Study was done on low-income 3- and 4-year-olds and lasted 4 decades. The children were randomly selected to either receive the High Scope Perry Preschool program or not to receive any comparable program, and were tracked until they turned 40 years old. According to the press release about the High Scope Perry Preschool Study by Kathleen Woodard, who is the Director of Marketing and Communications for High Scope, the following is true. More of the group who received high-quality early education graduated from high school than the non-program group, 65% versus 45%. More of the group who received high-quality early education had median annual incomes earning more than $5,000 higher than the non-program group, $20,300 versus $15,300. And significantly fewer members of the group who received high-quality early care than the non-program group were ever arrested for violent crimes, 32% versus 48%, property crimes, 36% versus 58%, or drug crimes, 14% versus 34%. Now that we have talked about some of the benefits of having your child attend preschool and seen how it can affect their future, I hope you will keep this information in mind when deciding whether or not to enroll your child in preschool. Will you decide to just keep your child home and hope that you can teach them all that you can? Or will you enroll them into preschool and let them learn and socialize in a school environment where they can flourish from now until forever? Thank you.